Hey, team players, and welcome back. Today is all about one primary focus: nailing all of that extra value before free agency ruins it for us. Earlier in the week we saw how Williams jumped 2.5 rounds. It's one of the things we talked about a lot on Monday. Today we're going to be applying a lot of these people into our policies today. You're going to see some awesome drafting. I'm ready to start it up with you. So, Bob, anything that you want to talk about, or you ready to just click go time into the draft?
Yeah,
Start it up.
just in general, there's some weird conversations. Now, we normally wouldn't put any stock in conversations like this, but there's some weird conversations. I was just reading through the news on Roto World and some other websites of Jacksonville potentially being up to trade Brian Thomas Jr.
Well, that's been rumored for a while now.
Yeah, but the reason I kind of take pause with it and kind of am thinking about it a little bit more is that if it's been there for such a long time, now it's come back and he had a down season. I'm curious how much he would be worth in a trade and how much the Jags would want back, because there are some things that the Jags could do.
Well, let's talk here. You ready to hit start to enter the draft? We'll talk about this as we're getting the 12 people.
All right, I'm entering now.
Shit.
I am one of 12, baby.
You are one of 12, and I am 3 of 12. So I'm going to assume we're in the same one there. So let's talk about this from the Jags' perspective here. Mm-hmm. The reason that Jacksonville would consider getting rid of BTJ before we even start talking about compensation is the first and foremost reason. They did not acquire BTJ. The new regime that came in there, he was not their guy. And you saw at many points throughout the year, he did not want to do what the coaching staff needed him to do, to the point where they went out and they got Myers, who's now a free agent, to try to fill in that gap. Mm-hmm. So the first thing is we got a coach-player disconnect. That in and of itself is normally a reason to experience trade options. The second one, which in my opinion might even be more important, is that when we look at the roster construction of the Jags, they do not want to keep Hunter off the field. Hunter was their number 2 pick that they traded this year's first-round pick to have. Mm-hmm. So keeping him on the field and ready to go is paramount to this team. Because right now, if you look at it, you're like, oh, he's going to be a defender. But that's not what the Jags want. So that's the starting point from the Jacksonville perspective of why they would consider moving BTJ in the first place.
I can see that narrative, but I can also see a world where the Jags are just like, screw it. We're keeping all these guys, and we're going to make a run for it again this year.
Well, that's all fine and well and good. There's only one ball, though. Do you want someone to be a locker room cancer?
But while I don't think that that's necessarily the case, Joe, about when you say like a cancer, I don't think that he's.
I don't think it is either, but it's a potential.
I think that more so is that we have a player here who was wildly successful with a different quarterback in his first year. Coming in, you're not on the same page with Trevor Lawrence. You get injured, stuff happens, and you just aren't doing enough. Like you said, you're just not doing enough. And whether that's whether the Jaguars and Cohen are able to coach that out of him is one thing. But as we look like to just who's on their active roster, right? They have a lot invested in wide receiver this year. Most of on their offense, you have offensive line, wide receiver being the most expensive groupings on the field, with Travis Hunter being the most expensive in a way. So, while I don't think that they would fully move off of BTJ, I think that Cohen and the ilk could be convinced at the bare minimum to begin a conversation if, say, a team like Buffalo or a team like Kansas City or a team like, Seattle, if they want a guy for the outside that's a little bit different than JSN. I know they have Cooper Kupp and stuff too.
Well, JSN's better as a slot anyway. But the thing to get problems with wish casting is he's probably not going to a good team.
There are going to be conversations. And the reason I bring this up isn't because, like I said, I don't necessarily think that he is definitely going to move. But if we're looking at these early bird contests and we're thinking about getting all of our entries in before free agency hits, Brian Thomas
is recommended.
Brian Thomas Jr.'s price right now is very attractive. And I've looked through my just the portfolio of this max 20 entry tournament. And I have a good bit of Brian Thomas Jr., whether that's in the 5th round, 6th round, or 7th round. And then similarly, you have a very depressed value in a guy like Marvin Harrison because all of the talk this offseason so far has either been Kyler Murray or Michael Wilson. And the confirmation, like yesterday I did a draft where I drafted Michael Wilson. I can't remember what round it was in. And the conversation, having that good conversation for a guy that was, not well known at the beginning of last season and then turned into a superstar fantasy guy for us this season, I think taking that into note is saying, like, the good news when we're talking about players in this offseason kind of, roller coaster is that the good news is nice to hear because it's a way of thinking about, okay, like, this guy is being championed a little bit, so there's a good inclination that there's going to be a lot of usage out of that guy this year, assuming health is there. But the bad news, I'm not fully invested in a guy like Brian Thomas Jr., for example, right? So, because let's think about it this way. If he goes to a team, whether that's the Steelers, whether that's San Francisco, because San Francisco is most likely moving off of Ayuk, they're most likely not signing Jennings. Now you become wide receiver one of a team that is in need of a wide receiver one. And hey, Brock Purdy can pass the ball pretty good. If that happens, you will see Brian Thomas Jr. start jumping up in the rankings. If you see that Jacoby Brissett is going to stay with the Cardinals, then you'll see Marvin Harrison Jr. probably stabilize, but climb maybe like a round or two. So being aware of that. And guys, if you're wanting to know, we're doing a DraftKings dollar tournament, 20 entry max. There are about
it's the 100K mini camp.
There are 8 of 12 entrants in it so far, so we're just waiting for 4 more. So if you want to jump in and you're watching right now, please feel free to do that. The other thing to keep in mind too is that all these coaching shifts have happened, and so there are going to be changes in philosophies. And so looking at a guy that we've pretty much stayed away from most of the draft season so far is Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons we've stayed away from Saquon Barkley is that, number one, there are going to be some line issues going into this next year. Number two, with a new offensive coordinator, the idea behind what Jalen Hurts is going to do, will he continue to do tush push? A little bit of a depressed value there. But one of the good things to note, and this was reported on RotoWorld today and through other sources as well, is that they're going to move to a more Shanahan-y blocking scheme for zone runs.
Yeah. And that's good for Saquon.
And that, to me, puts Saquon back into the conversation of me wanting to invest in a guy like Saquon in the second round, especially if I went wide receiver first round, because like I said earlier, Love's value doesn't make any sense to me right now. So I am fully in these early season tournaments, and it could burn me in the ass, but I am fully avoiding Jeremiah Love in these early tournaments at cost. I know you've been drafting a lot of him.
Oh, I have.
And I understand the reasoning behind it, but I also know that there are other players of the same kind of caliber or better on potentially
That's
better
the part
teams.
I fundamentally disagree with. I'm not sure there is. I love Love so much.
But you can't tell me that if Love goes to the Saints, that's going to be a better situation than, let's say, Derrick Henry on the Ravens.
I absolutely believe that's a better. He'll put up more fantasy points than Henry
or
will.
Ken Walker back on Seattle.
Well, see, I don't know where Walker's ending up, but I 100% believe that Walker's a guy I'm targeting for today's show because I think his value goes up once he officially signs. Wherever he goes, I think his value goes up. And I also think that there's probably a great deal of people out there doing drafts right now that don't even know he's a free agent. But I also think that there is the reality of Love the second he starts might be the most explosive running back in the league from day one.
That's a real bold statement.
I know it is. But if he goes to a team that effectively has no other playmakers, which both Kansas City and New Orleans are, which is who's slated to draft him, you're talking about a lot of opportunity with a super explosive guy, and it's going to go nuts.
Hey, family, what's happening? I mean, I get the logic behind that. I logistically, honestly understand what you're throwing out there. I'm just not. I feel like for a guy like Love, we talk about rookies a lot, right? And we talk about like the time.
I'm not on many of them.
The time to buy the rookies is now, like King has said before. The time to buy the rookies is now because there's situations. If they go to the right situations, the value is going to go up. Like
also, as the combine is going on, their values are going to start increasing because people are going to start seeing them when they should have been seeing them before you started in the first.
But what I'm saying is that Jeremiah Love's value is already at its highest price. So
I don't believe that's true.
There's no way.
I think by the time that we start this, he's a first rounder.
Bullshit. There's no way.
I think that he will jump to the first rounder by August.
You're telling me you're going to have somebody.
I think he jumps A-Chain
over Cook.
I think he jumps over A-Chain.
You think he jumps over Omari and Hampton as well?
Oh, yeah.
And you think he jumps over Barkley as well?
I don't know about Cook, but I also have Cook ahead of Barkley as it is now. So, but yeah, no, I think Jeremiah Love absolutely is going to skyrocket here. Kickoff in 2 minutes,
All
guys.
Right. Well, do it because I'm 1, you're 12. I dare you.
I'm going to do it at 12. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to be doing this at 12.
Dare you. Put your money
I will be
where
taking
your
Jeremiah
mouth
Love at 2-1.
I mean,
in an ideal world, I will have Cook and Jeremiah Love.
Hey, like I'm saying, I don't think
but I'm probably going to end up with J. Jeff in Love, and I'm okay with that.
But as I said, though, like that value, there's like logistically speaking, he could climb higher into the second round, but unless somebody wants to overdraft him because they know they can't get him and they want him in the first round because they just want him. Those are the only instances in time where you could see an ADB climb like that. But I'm saying like in terms of like Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, where they end up landing, their value is going to climb up in the, in Best Ball Mania season. Now, like
their value is going to go up when they run their 40s. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, that too. But there's also players like for every player that goes up, we know that there's going to be players that goes down.
That's absolutely right.
And I think the other thing to think about too is that there's one player out there that we've talked about ad nauseum, and one player that we have mentioned and said, we're going to try to limit our exposure in a way in these 20 maxes to this player.
Mm-hmm.
But in tournaments that aren't 20 max, I might have a little bit more. Is the depressed value of Quinshon Judkins. Now,
I don't want to touch him at all.
While I don't think that he could climb much higher, I don't think that he's going to be able to go much lower. Because here's the deal, Joe.
He's still a starter. I get that.
right now,
you're on the clock, baby.
Right now we have.
You're on the clock. You get that pick in there.
It's Bijan. I'm not going to not take him there.
I'm not going to say it's a hard pick. I'm just saying click it.
So when we look at a guy like Judkins, for example, he's going in the 5th round, sometimes in the 6th round, depending on how people view him. The Browns are going to have an offensive line. I'm not saying it's going to be.
I don't agree with that sentence.
Listen, they have to have an offensive line.
They're going to have 5 dudes out there, but that doesn't mean they have an offensive line.
Again, I'm not saying they're going to be good, but I'm saying they're going to sign 5 guys. Also, they're doing this, whatever they're doing at quarterback, they've also put out some smoke screens about Malik Willis as well. Whatever happens.
Smoke screens about Richardson today.
Whatever happens, right, is that by September, August, Judkins is going to be healthy, and we can reasonably assume that he's going to get at least 12 carries, at least minimum. If it turns out that that offensive line is good and he does exceptional, that's going to be a good price. I'm not like, again, I'm not buying a lot of him, but what I am saying is that a guy like that has so much depressed value right now that he's not going to get lower unless BTJ leaves and Parker Washington climbs over him in ADP. Unless DJ Moore leaves and Roma Dunze climbs over. He's not going to go like a round or 2 later unless injured, of course, right? So like there's a lot of conversations about players of that ilk that some of them have their basement value. Like, for example, Justin Jefferson has his basement value right now. And if you are on 11, 12, 13, 14th pick or 15th pick, and you have the chance to get Justin Jefferson in the 2nd round, I don't really care how you want to build your team. That's who you need to get.
Dude, CeeDee Lamb just fell to the turn.
But I'm not, again, this is the reason why Jeremiah Love's not going to be a 1st-round guy. No matter what.
Jeremiah Love's going to be a 1st-round guy because McCaffrey and A-Chain should not be 1st-round guys. Especially McCaffrey.
Disagree.
Now, that's the argument you're going to have.
But you will, but I mean, your argument for that, Trent Williams might leave the team. So I mean, there is something to say there. But I do think you are going to see CeeDee Lamb is going to fluctuate. He's going to go anywhere from 6 to 12. I have seen it happen more recently that he falls to 10 because people love Amon-Ra a little bit more. And then you have here the James Cook, Ashton Genty play. Those 2 guys, like, again, this goes with the running back, like the offensive line situation, is that can Vegas's offensive line be any worse than it was last year? Maybe.
I mean,
maybe not.
Anything's possible.
Can their quarterback play be any worse than it was last year? Maybe, maybe not. But there's reason to believe that it's probably not going to be as bad as it possibly can be, right? So like the Ashton Genty, Jeremiah Love, Omarion Hampton, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, those are all fair guys after the James Cook. I mean, you said you would argue that James Cook, or you would argue that Devin Achane and Christian McCaffrey would fall below Love, Genty, Hampton, and Derrick Henry, or would they fall to the same tier as them?
I think that there is a tier of 3 in the first 3 that went in this draft.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would have...
Wouldn't dispute that.
Love and A-Chain in their own group, and then the rest of them.
I mean, that's fair. All right. We're going to make some moves here. Possibly.
So looking at where I think things are going to happen, I believe in giving people the draft pick when they're about to get paid. And ETN, whether it be at Jacksonville or somewhere else, is going to be paid. So if he comes to me on the turn, I will be taking him. He's the guy I'm kind of penciling in right now. And I got a couple of other guys thereafter. Taking my boy Collins. You also taking Bucky?
Of course.
It's building the Joe special over there.
I mean, I almost took George Pickens. I almost did the double dip at the wide receiver, but I know from doing enough of these at this point in time that the player that's going to come back to me is not. I'm not going to like the running backs that come back to me at the 4-5 turn or at the 3-4 turn. So,
and that's the value of doing enough of these to know.
So, like, even though I think that George Pickens should be a priority pick there, like looking at all of the running backs that just went after Bucky,
you had to take because you weren't getting no one back.
You kind of like just now again in these early bird contests, like when things can change. I don't really see the first 3 rounds changing very much whenever free agency starts, right? I do think that this grouping of players,
Walker can move up via free agency.
No, but I'm saying like he's still going to stay there. None of these players primarily are probably.
I definitely think Walker should be jumping ahead of Brown.
I could see that. I can
see Walker going to Cincinnati.
They wouldn't sign him. There's no way.
You're right. They don't sign anyone. They're cheap.
Now, the JSN Malik Neighbors George Pickens team, that's an elite start.
Yes, it is.
I mean, all 3 of those guys.
See, we like the running back start nowhere near as much as the receiver start that's right next to him.
Correct.
I mean, there's just no argument about that.
I mean, that receiver start, I mean, you're looking at receivers conceivably that will be able to easily ping 20 points a week if given the right situation, of course. But like you look at that and you say like, hey, would I want to start 3 wide receivers? It's a possibility, but that's only if guys like Javonte, Tony Pollard, Jaylen Warren, if you're willing to get deep into the weeds with some of those guys like we have in the past, then do it, right? But it's gonna get spicy. So you have Rashee Rice falling. Again, Rashee Rice, prior to all the news, was hitting up at the top end of the second round, late second round, early third round. Now he's lower down, bottom of the third round. It is the time to buy Rice. If you wanted to continue, if you were in these early tournaments and you wanted to buy Rice, now is the time. Because again, his value is going to change continuously. If he gets sent to jail, he might fall into the 5th round or the 4th round. Then it'd be really
sent to jail. He might fall off the board.
Yeah, I mean, people still believe. I still believe.
Well, no, on the field, he's insane. I mean, just an insane asset.
But also,
I do got to say that I think that Zay Flowers is a guy to keep your eyes on.
I love Zay this year, man. I mean, there is nothing.
I don't think Lamar should be that high either.
Well, he did it for the stack.
Did it, but you could have done it in the next round, or should have done.
There is nothing about Zay's profile that makes you want to hate him. I mean,
yeah, no.
He is a player. I mean, yeah, he can get in DraftKings. He could get 3 points. He did it last year. He could get 1 point. He did it last year. But when you look at the framework of how that team works, they're most likely going to go out and get a rookie or a cheap free agent signing. They're going to have Devontae Walker there. They're going to have a vet there. They're going to have Bateman. They're going to have Zay Flowers. This offense, if Derrick Henry gets hurt for any reason or another, it's still Lamar. And Zay is an important piece of this offense. I think that Zay's price in the 3rd round, early 4th round, is a price that I like to buy a lot. And you see here, though, it's going to get really spicy coming up, Joe, because we have 2.
That over running back run was crazy.
We have 2 0 RB teams right now. 2.
And we have what?
We have two teams right next to me without wide receivers.
Yeah. That part to me is nuts.
We have 2 0 RB teams, true 0 RB teams at this moment in time. We have 2 in the.
If Devontae Adams fall to you, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh, there it goes.
I'd take him, though.
Hell yeah, you would take him.
Well, this guy just telegraphed that I want to take Matt Stafford now.
Kind of did.
And this guy's going to take Jaden Daniels on the comeback.
He can have them.
Good.
Javonte and Waddle. I love that pick up there, man. It's a good blend of big ceiling, big floor.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
I probably would have gone Williams Watson though. All ceiling.
I thought about Watson.
I like running all gas.
I also thought about bringing just a couple picks ahead, bringing up Parker Washington. I can't get out of my head what a great last 4 weeks of the season he had. I'm not saying that that's going to be able to be replicated, but that was some primo games for a fantasy wide receiver. Now, Jameson Williams could fall off the map. I mean, he's had games where he's absolutely just tanked it. But last year, once Dan Campbell took over play calling, it looked a little bit better. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for that. Now, you still have so the 0 RB team finally took a running back with RJ Harvey. Can't say I love that.
No, he'd be fine as a running back 3.
You guys know how we generally feel about RJ Harvey. He's a player that we think has the potential to be really good long term in the NFL. But it's also a player whose situation he's really touchdown dependent, or was really touchdown dependent last year. And that's a good thing and a bad thing in a way. So you have Quinshawn going.
Cook, it doesn't matter because we know Buffalo is going to score.
Yeah. But Denver, so this guy maybe shaking his boots.
This guy's going to take Swift.
Kind of. I mean, maybe. He might not take him on this pick. There you go.
Well, he's not getting him then.
He might be getting Caleb, though. He might be lining up a Roma Dunze Caleb pick.
He might be.
And going true crazy.
But Harrison's a guy we talked before the show. He's still crazy talented. I get that his situation is less than sexy, but he is crazy talented.
There it is. There it is, Joe. Doubling up. The double-double. You got to love the double-double. Still, a true
I'm not sure I do love the double-double, Bob.
Still, a true 0 RB team through 6 rounds. You are going to love that because you don't care about running back right now.
No, it will help me. That is definitely true.
I mean, he's got to. I mean, he's got to take 6.
Yeah, almost, well, yeah. My team, I already know I'm going to end with only 6 running backs. I mean, I took 3 in the first 5 rounds. I'm only ending with 6.
Wow.
I might only end with 5.
I mean, I wouldn't hate that.
I mean, this is DraftKings. This is an underdog.
I know. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm
going to take some backups, so I think we'll upgrade based upon some eventual movement, and just swinging the dice, people.
Swinging the dice? You swing dice?
Sometimes I love the crap stables, man. You know that.
Okay, so here's your quarterback run.
Here it is. Let's see if Dak comes back to me.
It's one of them. It's one of them at the very minimum. Oh, see a Bayshall Tootin in the 6th round. I don't like that at all. That was a scared pick.
Well, that's the fear of going 0 running back and not wanting to keep riding. Actually, that's a problem with going 0 running back and throwing in a tight end. That's what that is.
Well, I might throw in a tight end here. I might not. We'll see.
But you're not 0 running back.
There goes Dak.
What the?
There goes Evan.
Pickens? He doesn't have Pickens.
All right. Well,
that's a naked Dak. Listen, I love me some Dak, but having him naked is not as desirable as you want.
All right. So I'm throwing those tight ends back to you, taking 2 more wide receivers. Now, you know how much I love Tucker Kraft. You know how much I like Sam Laporta, Kyle Pitts this year. But the board was screaming, Bob, take 2 more wide receivers there.
I'm not on the Wilson bus. He carried me last year during redraft season.
The thing is,
I don't see it when they have a whole offseason to accumulate Harrison and Harrison not being hurt.
I get it. But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing to think about. You don't just stop giving, like, I mean, there's plenty of examples of, yes, where teams have stopped giving players the ball because of one reason or another. But the primary problem with Trey McBride, with Marvin Harrison, and with Michael Wilson, and why I'm comfortable taking Michael Wilson in the 6th, right? As a wide receiver 4 and maybe not as a wide receiver 2 or 3, is because last year we were met with the perfect storm of Jacoby Brissett. They were just passing the ball.
And Harrison injury.
55 times a game.
Well, they're still going to do that. Their defense will suck.
Now, it's probably very likely that they come back down to earth and whatever quarterback is there throws it 30 times a game. And 30 times a game, still with their 3 big weapons, they don't really have anything much to like write home about in the running game right now. So you have 3 big offensive weapons with Harrison, Michael Wilson, and Trey McBride. Now, that is probably the thesis of why you wouldn't want to take Trey McBride at his 2nd round value. While he is the best tight end of the grouping, I would argue that taking Bowers there is probably a bit smarter. Just because when you think of the compressed target share that's going to happen, if you want to have ceiling numbers from Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, and Marvin Harrison, one of them is not going to be hitting that ceiling, right? And so ideally what you need to happen between those 3 is that those 3 are going to accumulate, you hope, like 10 targets, right? Each. And the likelihood of that happening is probably not high. But getting Michael Wilson after those 2, I feel good about that. Not that I think that it's going to be like an incredible redraft pick by any means, but in best ball, at least, I don't have to play that game. You know what I'm saying?
Don't play that game, Bob.
I thought you would go with the double there with Herbie, QJ, and Ladd.
I don't have QJ.
I know you could have.
He's already off the board. He went at 7-3.
Really? I didn't see that. Wow.
I would have. Don't get me wrong. I would have.
Maybe they were trying to scare people into not taking Herbie. So there goes an early Mahomes.
Oh, I love Herbie. I think that when you give them not 1, but 2 first-round tackles coming back.
Hey, Joe, how mad will this Devontae Adams Puka guy be if one of those guys that already took a quarterback takes Matt Stafford?
I think they're going to. I was debating Stafford.
See, the player that I was debating at the Michael Wilson DK Metcalf pick was Sam Laporta. I love bringing Sam Laporta up.
Laporta's a valid one to bring up, man. No argument there.
All right, here. Do we go quarterback? Oh, man.
So I pretty much have a spot of pure luxury picks here. I'm going to go dirty on my tight ends. I've already made that decision. Might go dirty on quarterbacks now that I got Herbie.
Oh, you could go real dirty on quarterbacks. I mean, quarterbacks are like weird because there's still people like me, 0-0, you know. Oh, God damn it. They took my guy. They took my next guy. Bastards.
Stafford didn't go to the guy who has all the Rams receivers, did he?
I'm not looking at that right now.
Actually, he might have.
All right. So we're going to double dip. We're going to go Mr. Bo. And we're going to go Goffey.
Well, you have Williams, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The Bo Nix was just because I know coming back to me in the 10th round.
Jeremiah Love just go, oh, are you kidding me?
Jared, yeah. I'm telling you, dude, when people start seeing, like, look, this is not unusual, but it is kind of unusual in a way that look at all, like, had Pollard been there, I would have taken Pollard and a quarterback. Had Rico been there, I would have taken Rico and a quarterback. But with both of those guys off the board, I wanted to get into 2 quarterbacks there. I passed on Kamanungai. Now, I love Kamanungai, and it's pick 102, and his ADP is 86. So somebody is going to get a current value right now. And I think the price of Kamanungai in the 9th is much better than Kamanungai in the 7th or 8th, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
But I needed the 2 quarterbacks because this room is a little nasty right now with quarterbacks. Like Sam Darnold just went. That's gross.
Yeah, they're getting pushed up.
What's happening, family? What's happening? How's the day going today? We're back to cold weather, by the way, here in Pittsburgh.
It melted all, though. It snowed this morning and melted by noon.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's still like 40 degrees, though. So, I mean.
No one's fighting that. No fights there.
I mean, but it was like 19 degrees last night. Stowed this morning. We had a 2-hour delay for school. Look at that. Kamanungai at the 106 is the price for Kamanungai. I think that is a way more reasonable price for him. Like the fact that he was going at like 86 in some drafts.
Dude, DJ Moore did slide to me. Love that.
Are you taking him?
I will be taking DJ Moore.
You hate DJ Moore.
DJ Moore's not going to be a Bear anymore. I now love DJ Moore. But now here's my debate. Do I want the second Notre Dame running back or Kittle?
I don't know. You do you on that one.
I think I'm doing Kittle.
I mean, I don't honestly think that taking Jadarian Price is going to help you very much.
No, I don't either. But Kittle can give you a top 3 week regularly, especially if there's no other assets.
He should be back week 5. He should be back week 5.
Yeah, I just need to get a couple fill-in guys for early in the year. That's nothing.
Yeah, so I think that's. I don't have a problem with something like that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Technically, DJ Moore him a little bit, but that's okay.
But that's another player, Joe. DJ Moore is and same. I guess the same with Kamanungai, right? If the room would have been a little bit different, I probably wouldn't taken 2 quarterbacks there, and I would have waited like maybe on a Fernando Mendoza or something like that. But with the guy having Brock Bowers like just ahead of me, I know I'm not going to get him. So, if the board would have been different, I honestly, if I knew quarterbacks were going to last a little bit longer, I would have double tapped DJ Moore and Kamanungai because obviously they're at the top of the queue, and DJ Moore is talented. He can put up a lot of points. I just think, I thought that was really interesting, really strange with that fall, but it makes sense because all these quarterbacks were taken way earlier than they probably should have been.
That is true.
Particularly Sam Darnold. All right. So we're going to get 2, Mendoza's still there. We're probably going to get 2 running backs here. We also could take a 3rd quarterback.
They'll be keeping the run going, dude. There's no one left in it.
No, we're gonna double tap running back here. All right. All right. I mean, I feel good about that.
Okay, I think Gainwell is incredibly undervalued. He's another one of those free agents who's going to skyrocket.
The one thing I'm just like desperately curious about is what does Washington do in the running back room? There has been basically...
I don't think they're going to do anything to it. They got to rebuild a defense.
There has been basically no movement, right? And while Krosky Merritt wasn't the most exceptional running back most weeks for them, if they can get another offseason of him, knowing the scheme and knowing what to do, the price is good enough, right? There is a world where he easily can be replaced, right, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not.
That guy's
he's
four quarterbacks and 5 picks.
Yeah, I've done that. I haven't done that, but I've done that lower down, but I haven't done it there. That's a little wild. Oh yeah, and this he took Stafford before the guy with Devontae and Puka. Kudos.
Oh, he wasn't the guy with Devontae and Puka. All right, well,
no,
at least everyone's catching strays.
That's rough. All right, so there goes CJ. That was probably your that and Cam Ward were probably your bounce back guys.
I feel like I have to take Cam Ward.
You do. Like, you might have to take Cam Ward and Kyler Murray coming up here. Mendoza's still there.
I don't want Mendoza. Cam Ward's a guy I actually won. I believe in his upside, and he will run.
I'm actually shocked that the Brock Bowers owner didn't take Mendoza.
You should have.
I'm actually kind of shocked about that.
Problem is, there's 2 receivers I want and Cam Ward.
You can only do one.
I know.
The value on Addison, Godwin, and Pittman's real good right now, Joe. Like
I actually think Pittman is way more valuable than the other 2.
Yeah, the 10th round, Michael Pittman, sure. If he would have fell, I would have definitely taken him.
All right, the theme of this show is take free agents before their value skyrockets.
Dubs.
So the theme of the show.
Dubs. You gotta love that. I mean, I
did that for content, baby. If I lose 10 grand because I didn't take Golden, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, why would you take Golden as well? You don't. I mean,
I think Golden's gonna explode in his second year. First off, Dobbs won't be there to take the target share. And I actually think Golden has a chance of being truly talented.
I mean, he is talented, but it's the scheme that puts you in a way. There's not like, I don't think that any of those wide receivers last year hit 1,000 yards.
I think Romeo did. Pull that up here real quick for you.
I don't think any of those wide receivers hit 1,000 yards last year.
You're right. Romeo got 800.
So, like,
well, you're taking the mouth away, and I know Watson's going to get hurt.
I mean, reasonably speaking. Also, Jaden Higgins in the 12th round right now.
That's a value.
That's really good. Like, I was going to pick him.
Like, Debo should not be going before him.
I was going to pick Higgins up here.
Dude, I love that Hunter pick.
I hate it. Terrible pick.
Dude, if Hunter has the profile to be one of the best receivers in the league. He has it. He has a coach who desperately wanted him.
I like it. I'm not going to disagree with you, but like at this point in time, they have said that he's going to play on defense.
Well, that's because they haven't gotten rid of BTJ yet.
Again,
they easily can take the first corner off the board.
I mean, you're right. When you look at Golden, when you look at Hunter, they are guys that with a good off-season news story will absolutely climb up the board.
No doubt. And that's what we're trying to do is just identify the players before they start climbing. You take Ayuk. Ayuk's a good example of that.
There's no doubt about it. Like, you know, we were talking the other day about how Jordan Mason right now is pretty much who the starter is going to be. But they're not done. Minnesota needs a lot of stuff on offensive side of the ball. Their defense is pretty sound. But they need to figure out this quarterback situation. With a consistent good quarterback, Mason and whoever they get could be really, really great. Right? So like Mason, Ayuk, those are like Ayuk could be a Steeler. I don't think the Steelers will go and get him. I know it was conversation, and I wouldn't enjoy having DK Metcalf and Ayuk if they were Pittsburgh Steelers. But the price of Ayuk will climb. The price of Travis Hunter will most likely climb. Jane Higgins will know more about Tank Dell soon, and we'll know what happens with Christian Kirk soon, right? So there's a lot of conversation where these three guys here will climb up. Matthew Golden, similarly. Debo will probably end up on a new team next year, but will his ceiling be what it could be? 727 yards, 72 receptions last year, 6 touchdowns. He's still capable of putting you up into the stratosphere. And, all things considered, he is older than the guys that I just mentioned. So, there is reason to believe that there could be success with a lot of these wide receivers that are down here. I mean, looking at the wide receivers, Joe, taken from Khalil Shakir all the way to Brandon Ayuk.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be 2 or 3 probably from that grouping that will end up on the Best Ball Mania winning roster.
Possibly.
That will
guy never click, but it makes me feel happy that he's on my team.
Not only roster, they will be in the starting lineup on that Best Ball Mania winning lineup.
Well, it's hard to call that out without knowing who anyone's playing.
Just saying. There's enough wide receiver talent here that you have Pittman, Godwin, Addison, Jennings, Coker, Reed, Debo, Ayuk, Golden, Hunter, Higgins, Dobbs. These are all guys.
Golden and Pittman, but Jennings is a floor guy.
I disagree.
Tyreek, I think, is done.
That's why I didn't say Tyreek.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say him. I don't think that he's a floor guy. I think he's a guy that you can give nine targets to if you needed to.
Yeah, but he's only going to get you 68 yards.
He screams Buffalo Bill.
He doesn't, because he's a taller version of Shakira.
Need it. They need it. They need more.
No, what the Bills need is Mike Evans.
Oh, they're not going to sign.
They need an outside receiver who can get open by himself, because that's what the promise of Coleman was supposed to be. But the reality is Coleman's a tall slot.
I mean, they ain't going to sign it. They ain't going to sign him. So there's a couple players that I like out there right now, but I am going to be queuing up 2 tight ends here.
2 tight ends? That means one of my tight ends are not coming back to me, because I know who you take.
I mean, I just don't have one yet. I waited a bit longer because, again, like I said, I do truly believe that guys like Ferguson and Goddard and Kittle will be really good. I love the Laporta, the Pitts, the Kraft, the Kincaid as well. I think they're going to be exceptional. But being here at the front end of the draft, you're either going to have to, like, I could have taken Tyler Warren or Tucker Kraft there as well, but I think I'd rather have had the potential of DK there to pop into a lineup. So we're going to take Schultz and Njoku.
2 of my guys right there.
I thought about really like Likely. The Njoku pick could definitely burn me here. But again, this is going to be a team with 3 tight ends. I'm not going to, if I would have taken Bowers, now I've taken Bowers and still taken 2 other tight ends. I mean, the theory goes is that you shouldn't. But also, and this is the other thing too that I think is intriguing just about best ball this season specifically, is that, let's say, Joe, You go running back in the first round. You take Bowers. Then you come back and you take running back in the third round. Then you have a stream of wide receivers.
You'd have to, yeah.
And then you take Laporta or Kraft.
And you don't touch another one at all.
And then you don't take another one at all. I like that from the perspective that it is very plausible that with a good Laporta week and a good Bowers week, that they are both hitting your lineup in the flex and tight end.
But that's only because you built your team wrong.
And you're no.
They're not both going to be putting up 20 plus points.
There's a framework where they do, Joe.
I don't see that.
Because when you look at their skill set in particular, and when we look at Kraft and Laporta in particular, those are touchdown type guys. Now, Laporta didn't get a lot of touchdowns last year, but he's also a guy who's getting a lot of receptions and is on the field a good amount. Week 5, again, this is against Cincinnati, but I'm just going to take it as an example. Week 5, Laporta gets 20. Week 6, Laporta gets 16.
Oh,
those are good numbers for any player hitting your flex, right? We go in a similar kind of fashion. We'll go to week 13 and week 14 of last year, where Bowers hit 22, and then the next week he had 14. That 14 at a tight end is super valuable. Now you might say, well, what if that's my flex? Is 14 going to kill me? 14 is not going to kill you. You might be slightly behind the 8 ball, but it's definitely not going to kill you. And the volatility at the wide receiver position in that same range, like Myers, Moore, Diggs, Worthy, Shakir. Like there's just so many quarterbacks that go in that range that I think that some people often forget that like double tapping tight end in that range and then just not even thinking about it again until like the last couple of rounds. It's not a bad way to go about it. But
there's grosser ways to live. There's no doubt about that.
But double tapping tight end and then going quarterback in that same round, I don't know if I like that.
So I'm building a 2 tight end or a 2 quarterback team, and that's it. I put an extra receiver out here. I wanted to. So Amari Cooper Jr. is interesting to me.
Omar Cooper Jr.?
Yeah.
You said Omari.
Oh, my bad. We got some speed there. He could be a slot machine. He's interesting to me.
I mean, that's a fair assessment to make. I'm not gonna argue with that or say that it's like a shit sandwich, right? Like, I think it's perfectly reasonable to roll yourself into a rookie at this stage in the game. I mean, if the rookie hits at this point in the game, like you want.
Well, if the rookie hurts, it means CeeDee Lamb got hurt.
No, I'm saying if the rookie hits, it doesn't mean CeeDee Lamb got hurt. It could mean just that the rookie hits and CeeDee Lamb still gets on your roster. Like, I think that's the thing that like a lot of people are forgetting about. Right? It says those things are not mutually exclusive. All right. Any pick that I was going to take there was gross, but I'm going to take Taylor.
Any pick I was going to make was going to be gross.
Well, it was either going to be a Jet or a Brown.
Oh, man. Hey, did you read that article I sent you?
No, I didn't.
All right, guys, I encourage everyone to read it. It's on Horseshoe Heroes. It's about the possibilities of the Cleveland Browns trading for Anthony Richardson from the Colts' perspective. It is a hilarious read that makes a beautiful right-hand turn into just hating on the Browns. I loved it.
Oh, my God. That's like, why would they do that to themselves?
Well, the Browns are notorious for making
stupid decisions.
Oh, Moose went early.
Colts might not have better option than this Anthony Richardson proposal. Is that the article?
That's the article. So Muth goes. So let me go to my other 2 sleeper tight ends here.
I mean, he might be the cheapest quarterback that the Browns could have on their roster. 6th-round pick. Send Richardson a 6 for a 3rd and a 4th. I mean, crazier things have happened, but like I said, I don't think that Anthony Richardson's a good quarterback either. And they already have that on their roster with Shedeur. So I don't know why
Cleveland has a lot of bad quarterbacks on their roster.
I don't know why you would want. I don't know why you'd want to do that from the perspective of Cleveland. I mean, that's the quintessential wish casting of a Colts fan just saying, just please get rid of Anthony Richardson so I don't have to look at his face anymore.
Oh no, that actually has been reported at the combine that Cleveland is considering it.
Well, Cleveland's considering everything. Cleveland's considering your brother as their quarterback as well. They'll take anybody.
It's such a poorly run organization.
It's an open. They have said that it's an open quarterback competition. But I'm going to come back to the thing that I told you guys last year or a couple weeks ago, is that
I can't believe about the handcuff a tight end.
Is that Monken wanted Shedeur. He likes Shedeur. So this quarterback competition is
he liked Shedeur until he saw Shedeur on the field.
This is a true quarterback competition, but the current whoever's on their roster right now, is Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur better than one another? Well, they're going to prove it. Deshaun Watson, could he play this year? Yeah. I mean, they're paying him enough money to play. I mean, all in all, like if you're Cleveland, you're paying Deshaun Watson to play. So do you play him? It's not like you're going to win a lot of games this year anyway. I mean, the guy's 31 years old and an $80 million cap hit. I mean, seriously, insane. Absolutely insane. What's going on, Jamie? I'm just saying, like, also, I don't know what you're doing over there, getting Jake Tongas and George Kittle as your...
I guarantee to have a tight end every week.
As your only tight end? I mean, not really.
I was going to take Muth. It did not work out for me.
Not really, because Tongas is a restricted free agent this year.
Which means he's not leaving.
I don't know. Jamie, I like those little pink little shits over there. So, oh, my guy went. Damn. All right, who do I need to go here for? We've got 2, 5, 6, 3. So we could definitely grab a couple of running backs here. Usually this is the game where I take Mac Jones.
Yeah, this is about when you do that.
So we'll take Mr. Broken Leg.
You know, you refer to him as Mr. Broken Leg. It just gives so much confidence. So much confidence.
So much confidence.
You haven't taken a receiver for 6 straight rounds. That's crazy.
I know. But I feel very confident in the 6 that I have.
Well, you'd have to, because like I said, I'm doing a 2-6-9-3 when it's all said and done.
Yeah. I mean, in this draft,
coach, well, I'm going to take it back regardless.
In this draft, because I was pretty even through I took 2 running backs a little bit earlier. So my first and third round pick were running back, and I just double tapped running back there. Just because that in that range of wide receiver values, I'm not like chomping at the bit to get anybody there. And realistically speaking, could I have gone 2 wide receivers there? Yeah, sure.
Man, this is really truly a 3 running back team I've built.
A 3 running back team?
If you really look at it. I'm running spicy, man.
I mean, truthfully, like, yeah, mine's potentially a 2 running back team too, but there goes
lots of receivers.
All right. You know, another you should take Pacheco just because.
I mean, I think I might have to.
No, take Jalen Wright.
Mooney in the 19th.
I mean, Darnell Mooney is not our boy, so.
No.
He's
retiring. That right there, Noah Gray in the last round.
Game over.
He will skyrocket.
Send in the nurses here, guys, because Joe just took Noah Gray and Isaiah Pacheco. Hey, did you hear that Washington would be open to having Zach Ertz back?
Well, they're open to anything if they're getting for free.
But, like, why would you? He can't move.
The locker room guy.
I mean, yeah, if you're signing to the league minimum. Wow, who's drafting Geno Smith? His ADP is at 223. That's wild.
I bet Geno's a starter this year, at least in the beginning of the year. There's no quarterbacks in this league. And you could easily say it was Pete Carroll's fault, and everyone will believe you.
Probably. Oh, Malik. See, okay, so I'm gonna tell you a problem that I've been running into a lot in these drafts, and it is the Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington. I wouldn't call it a paradox, but it's that almost every single time I have clicked Jalen Waddle, and I think the price is right for him. And I think that, you know, there has been conversation that the Miami Dolphins are going to possibly move him. I think that'd be silly for them to do. I think that'd be silly for him to do.
If the Dolphins move Waddle, they're officially declaring we're getting the first pick in the draft, and we're doing the march. We're doing the march for Manning.
And I realistically,
and they've done that before. I mean, they did it for Tua.
Realistically, I don't like taking 2 wide receivers from like a team that I don't think is going to be super successful. But I think that Malik Washington is like the best pick in this last rounds. But I am going to take Jalen Royals.
I thought Royals.
When we look at these teams, while Jamie and family have their emoji war over there. One of the things
why be better than that?
Because they love you, Joe. One of the things to keep in mind here is the one thing that I want to check up on is that 0 RB team. So we go to the true 0 RB team, who went,
which was 11
3-5-9-3. So let's read off the 5 running backs from the 0 RB team.
Hubbard, Corum, Monty, Spears, Kanon Mitchell. He has 4 running backs.
5.
He has 2 platoon guys and Monty.
So is it possible that there is like...
Now, he also did it wrong. Had he only gone 6 rounds, he could have had Jaylen Warren, and we'd feel completely different about this roster.
Yeah.
You can't go until the 8th with a running back is the fundamental problem.
Yeah, I think the amount
I
of
personally
time
want to go back to the 3rd.
I would be okay, and I've shown you guys this plenty of times. I would be okay with a Pollard Warren running back room, but that's only if I've taken care of tight end as well. Like I'm not double dipping twice on quarterback there. So like this, like that would more so look like if I'm doing 0 RB through 6 rounds, what I would want that to look like would be Jefferson. I would want that to be wide receiver, tight end somewhere in there, either in the 2nd round or in the 7th round there. And then rack up just the wide receivers. Like I'm not taking 2 quarterbacks there. But I know the necessity of doing that because here's why. Is that if you're building that true 0 RB team, you truthfully don't really have any room to mess with quarterback in these middle rounds. So if you are going to do that, one of your top 6 picks has to be a quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
I would argue just don't do 0 RB through 6 rounds. Just make one of them a running back. You don't get
But also, I do think that his team with the Lamar is better than the JSN team with Harvey and Tootin.
Yeah, mostly because you love Lamar more than Loveland.
No. It's not because I love Lamar more than Loveland. I think that when we look at it, what I just said to you about he built.
See, I'd rather have the receiving core of the JSN team.
That team built 3. No, I agree with you that I like the first 3 wide receivers off the board for that team, but I also like the first 3 wide receivers off the board for the 11th team. But the problem that I'm telling you is that if you do go 0 RB through 4 or 5 rounds, you can't then push.
Well, here's the biggest problem that he made.
You can't push 3 quarterbacks through round 7 through 9.
You can't take 4 receivers in the first 5 rounds and end up with 9 on your roster. That's really where he messes up.
I agree with that.
It's these bottom end receivers after Addison that he takes. He shouldn't be taking Horton or Kupp or Fields. Those should all be, or
realistically,
certainly not Darnell Mooney. Those should all be long shot running backs.
Realistically, I would have stopped at Horton, and then I would have just slammed Mitchell, Brashard Smith, Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright, Emmanuel Wilson, guys like that. Like, I have never taken Nick Singleton, and I have told you guys that plenty of times. I've never taken him, and, you know, I've never been in the position to take him as well. But going like at that 18th pick there, looking at the rest of the players that are off the board, realistically, I probably would have only wanted Deshaun Vele, who went. There's a couple other guys that didn't go that I would want too. But like my draft, I'm okay with it. But also, like, we've talked about this before with you guys, Jamie, and with family there, is that having Schultz, Njoku, and Mason like in a row there basically does kill the potential value that you can get at other positions. Like if Trey Harris ends up being the guy or the dude, you know, you passed up on him for another tight end. So like there's always that.
Yeah, I could have had Njoku over here instead of Tesla.
But the one thing to keep in mind, Joe, is that the value of quarterbacks is going to be wildly varied depending upon the room that you're in.
That's right.
There are drafts that we know, that we have seen, that have come and where Shook goes in the 10th, or Mendoza goes in the 11th, and, you know, Cam Ward doesn't go to the 12th, and Penix falls to the 14th. Kyler goes in the 15th, shit like that, right? It's all it's all very much like highly variable. I want to, before we go off today, I want to pull up a lineup that I built yesterday, and I know you're going to hate it.
Pull it up.
I want to talk a little bit about it so that I can get your thoughts on it. You're going to hate it. It's just because it just has players that you don't like on it.
I'm opening up to the idea that it might be too early to start the hate buses. But then again, I look out on the horizon and be like, I still hate you. So
then you look out on the horizon and you see Tedero and McMillan. That's what happens.
Yeah, there's an example.
Right. All right.
I watched the All 22. That's the only reason I hate tech, because I watch film.
Okay. So we're sitting up here at the 7th pick. Again, trying something different. This was over dinner yesterday. I told you that this one went wild because the guy in the third hole had 5 quarterbacks. Right? Look at that team. Crazy, right? So we're getting here, and you can see what I did here with what I was talking about with Bowers Laporta, where you just go double tight end early and then forget about it.
Yeah, right? No, I'm okay with that strategy.
So the team here we got in the wide receiver room is Tet, Terry, Waddle, Michael Wilson, DK, Trey Tucker, Torrey Horton. That's it.
I think that's fine.
I think that's good. You got Bowers and Laporta in the tight end room. Quarterbacks here are Goff, Mendoza, and Mac Jones. Goff and Mendoza to pair up with Laporta and Bowers, just like I've been preaching, right? Try to get your tight ends paired up with the quarterbacks. If they both have a good game, you're going to have a good week. But I want to talk to you just a little bit about these running backs. So, got JT, then Jadarian Price and Kenny Gainwell. That's my second.
I think Gainwell is a starter you're getting in the 11th round. I think Gainwell is a steal. If I do 0 RB, I'm pushing Gainwell to the 10th.
Then we have Tajee and Aaron Jones. Who knows what's going to happen with Aaron Jones? Maybe he lands on another team. Maybe he stays. Who knows?
Maybe Aaron Jones leaves the NFL.
Maybe he leaves the NFL. Then we have Dylan Sampson and then the 2 Miami running backs that are not named Devin Achane. I want to get your honest opinion about the 2 running backs that are not named Devin Achane at this point in time in the offseason.
Well, getting them at the end of the draft like that, Wright essentially is the Achane replacement. He's the closest to him in body type, close to him in speed, etc. So that's just a straight up handcuff for Achane, which to get a handcuff that's an actual on the field, we know he's a handcuff versus a speculative rookie, I'm very much for. Like, for comparison last year, guys, this is about where Giddens went. Giddens became a straight up handcuff and still did nothing. So handcuffs that themselves don't mean anything. In Miami, however, where they use Achane as a slot quite a bit, it means a lot more. I think you got tremendous. I think Wright should be going probably closer to the 13th round, to be totally blunt. I think he stole one there.
Now,
and Ollie Gordon is just the goal line guy, so I'm okay with that.
Now, the thing is here is like you can see from round.
I think Price is probably overrated. As much as I love my Notre Dame guys, Price is probably not going to warrant a top 10 pick.
7 of the last 10 rounds were running back for me.
Yeah,
and like
so you took one of your first round and didn't touch it again.
Yeah, so I'm not like fully like I get I am more so on the bus of a hero running back right now than full on 0 running back.
And okay. I think I'm on the bus of 3 out of 4 running backs. Just being real. Hero receiver, baby.
Actually, what I want you to do the next draft that we do, so we'll be coming at you
again.
You're going
to force me to do hero running back.
No. What I want you to do when we come back again on Monday at 3:45, what I want you to do is I want you to draft a team where you only have 4 running backs. You can give me some weird.
Well, I got to go first 3 rounds then.
But I want a 4 running back team.
All right, Giffers, you guys have fun down there. All you other.
All right, see you, family. See you, Jamie. Everybody joining us today.
More, so I didn't get emoji by those two. You guys are great. Make sure you like and subscribe.
3:45 on Monday, guys.